Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Ho!
Ho!
Ho! Welcome to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach.
I'm Mac.
I'm Pepper.
And for today's last call, where we give our CHIPPI rating on the game, we'll be looking at ICECOOL.
How'd we find this game?
Well, I just saw a video of it online. Tom Bassel did a review of it. Looked pretty fun. It was kind of around Christmas and kind of in a spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So
Next thing I knew, this thing just appeared one day. I was like, a penguin game?
A penguin flicking
It's
game.
kind of an interesting move for you strategists over here and there, but okay.
kind of one of those late night orders. It was like, I'll get this.
Well, it definitely fits in Minnesota weather,
Yeah.
Yes.
where it's freezing cold by Christmas and we actually get some ice and snow. So that's what we call our schools here in Minnesota, ice schools. So, yeah, for
Core pieces. What
core
do you
mechanics.
guys think?
I gave it a 7 out of 10 for core mechanics. I think the flicking mechanism in it is pretty fun and pretty interesting how you're flicking and trying to get under certain doorways and through them completely. I think that's really cool how you have to go from room to room while trying to collect your fish, but then also trying to stay away from the chaser or hall monitor so that you don't get caught and get your license taken away from you.
I agree. I mean, I gave it a 5 because I do like the flicking, but I think it's hard for some people, like my older brother, who maybe isn't as coordinated. So I think I remember one time playing with this, and he just had a hard time flicking it like all together. So I think it was just like a long game for him, and and honestly, like my fingers hurt by the end of this game, like always. And so it is fun, but like there is an element of pain to it.
It definitely is. If you play it for too long, I could see that.
And I struggle because it's the same setup every time, and so like I feel like I kind of have like a couple routes I can do for the.
You might have to pick up ICECOOL too, and you can mix it up.
Is that a thing?
Yes.
Okay, well we might have to do that. But
Check the
otherwise,
stocking.
I think the card factor, that license piece that you were talking about, is really really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, just pretty much what you've said. I think the flicking is pretty cool. I like the pieces, how they can flick in different ways. Even as the chaser, you can try to flick over the walls and skip through rooms to catch
Yeah.
the runners.
Yeah, it's cool how they're weighted and everything, and how trying to hit him on the top and stuff to get it to flip over the certain walls is a really risky possible thing, but you are able to try to pull it off. And if and when you do, it feels really good. It's a stand-up moment, even though you're already standing up while you're flicking it, most likely. But yeah, I think the only other mechanic in the game that I wasn't 100% sold on is the card values for the fish. When you do collect your fish, you always pick up a card. I think depending on what you get, if someone gets like all the 3.1s or gets a lot of them, it could be hard to keep up with them.
I do like that they put in the extra move that you can get by trading in 2 1-point cards.
Mm-hmm.
Feel that evens it out a little bit.
Right, I think that's definitely a good point, that they do allow you to do that, to give you, even though you may not get the high or extra points, you still are able to use them to kind of get a bonus action.
Yeah.
And then history with the game, I think I've played it roughly a handful of times, 5 times or so.
I think I've only played it like 3 times.
Yeah, I'd say about 5 as well.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I think it's one that I look forward to playing a few more times at least. Especially always around winter and Christmas time. I think bringing it out for a few games here and there is always a fun thing to do. How about the time investment of setting up and the gameplay? What did you think on that?
Setup is pretty interesting. You got this Russian doll style box that just you take it out piece by piece and it turns into the board itself.
Right.
And makes setup pretty easy.
Yeah.
And actually even a little fun.
Mm-hmm. I will say that I agree with that it is a little funner to set this one up, and using the box in such a unique way to set it up is really fun in a way. A fun part of the game is setting it up, which is interesting. You don't have that for many games. Usually, setting up it's not very fun, or tearing down. But this one, it's definitely unique.
I gave it a 5. It's easy to play. My fingers hurt, and like I said before, there's just like no reconfiguration of it. So, like the setup is fine, but I think it can drag a little bit. But
The set of the game itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gave the investment an 8 because I think it's still a relatively quick game. It can be really quick if certain rounds can be really quick if a chaser or hall monitor is really good at what they do and somehow end up hitting a couple people at once.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I actually gave it a 10.
Ooh.
Just with the fun setup, decently quick playtime. I did not factor in the pain on the fingers. That could probably bring it down a point.
Right, yeah. I think, yeah, you could play this one multiple times in a row, but yeah, I think your fingers would hurt after a while.
Yeah.
It is, they're really cool the way they are and the weightedness of them, where they kind of swing back and forth, but I think because of all that weight, it does hurt a little more to actually flick them.
Might have to invest in some nice gloves.
Some flicking gloves. That's what they'll come out with next. And kind of like we've already been talking about with the box and stuff, I think presentation of the game for me is a solid 10 out of 10.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, the way they use the box to just set up the board and play the game is just fantastic in this game. I think there's other games that use the box within the game, and I haven't tried any of them, so maybe there are better implementations of using the box in a game, but I really think, having the different rooms and the way, the box just comes together after you're done playing as well, and it doesn't take up a ton of extra space, but it's a little, the box is a little bigger, if you're trying to keep it on a shelf or whatnot, it's longer than a typical box, but it still, I think it should be as big as it is to keep up the...
And I find like they have like really cute details kind of sprinkled throughout all of the boxes, which I like. It's not important, but you are getting really close into that box to try and get a good flick. So I think it's really cute. And another thing I really love about this game is the penguin cards. Like they have like little characters on them. They're little license.
One has a bow tie.
Yes, exactly. They match their colors, and I believe they both have options for like a girl or boy character, which I think is just so much fun. It's so fun to play a different penguin and be like, I'm Roxy.
Yeah, I like whenever they have like a flip side to the character.
Yeah.
2 options.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, the board is amazing. I'm probably a little more impressed with the actual penguins, and like you said, their weight, other than hurting your fingers.
Right.
Her delicate
the
hands.
penguins are definitely solid for what it is.
Yeah, I mean, we've flicked them a lot. We've flicked them off the board and onto the ground, hard ground, and they've not broken or cracked at all.
which is very surprising because they do make a solid thud when they hit the ground.
Yes.
So quite heavy.
Very good quality there. So I gave it a 9.5. Not quite a 10, but
the artwork just wasn't quite there for you.
Still give you a fist.
yeah, like you said, there are a lot of great details throughout, but I don't know. I don't completely love the ice artwork, the kind of look of it, but that's just a small detail.
Yeah, that's just a Minnesotan thing. We have a certain way we want our ice to look, so it doesn't quite reach our standards. So you got to work on that by about 0.5. But how about preference? How do you prefer this game over other ones if you're going to be picking one off the shelf?
This one's a weird one. It's very seasonal, so like summertime, I'm probably never gonna pick this one. But if it's winter, I'm gonna be feeling it.
Right. This is kind of a game that especially here where it gets to 0 degrees or even lower, sometimes it's like, oh, you could make a cup of hot cocoa and then play this game while doing that.
Yeah, and then you'll end up with a penguin in your cocoa. I don't know. For me, I don't feel this game overall. I put it at a 6. like, I think it's fun to take out and play as like a filler game, or when you have people who are willing to have fun with it. Because I think I've had it a couple of times where it's just been taken too seriously, and like,
Never.
I don't know who she would have been playing with.
and like, so it's supposed to be like this fun, upbeat kind of, you know, I'm not gonna say it's a party game, but like, it is just something to have fun with, and I feel like sometimes that gets lost for me because, one, I feel like it can drag out sometimes if you don't have someone who's adept at being the chaser, or, you know, just if you have a lot of players and stuff, like, I feel like it can take a little while, and I find it especially hard to be the chaser sometimes, like, because based on someone else's ability, it's just, you just like, I'm not going to be able to get them, like, you can keep trying, but sometimes if they just keep moving, like a pawn in a chess game, like, you're just not going to catch up. So I don't know. It's fun, but it can be frustrating for me, and overall, I'm just not a fan of, because I feel like I play the same game every time I play this one, pretty much, just because I have a very, you know, straightforward strategy with it, and I'd like to say I'm fairly good at this game, so it's not like overly challenging, but
Yeah, there may not be a great amount of replayability, but I think that's a good reason where you could kind of take this out once a year, like around Christmas.
right, it is
Right.
very fun if you have people who are willing to have fun with it.
Right. Yeah. That's why I rated it a 6 out of 10 as well for preference. Just because it's more of a seasonal game for me as well. It's not one that I'm going to take out and play every month probably, but right around the holidays is a fun time to play it because too you can play it with family members that might not typically play games, and this is something that it's an easy one to get to the table for them, and easy for them to understand it, and flick the penguins.
Yeah.
And struggle probably and wonder what are we doing here.
Yeah.
But do you think this one has an it factor?
Oh, definitely.
Oh.
Just kind of the same stuff we've been talking about, the penguins and the board, kind of the overall Christmas feel to it.
I agree. I think there is an it factor, and I think it's just that it's so different than anything that we really have, and so like it's easier, I think, to just bring it out when you have some people in between some time, maybe when you're just waiting for the turkey to cook or some, it's something you can just kind of bring out and have fun, and it's so different than just playing like Taboo quick or, just something else to kind of fill it. And so I did give it a 7 on the it factor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So.
that's about where I am as well. It's definitely a unique game, and we don't have anything like it. There might be some out there, but it's definitely, especially seasonal wise, it's a game that you can take out and pull out and have fun with.
Yeah, and like you said, like, it's easy to involve anybody in the game. So it's not like one where we're going to exclude people because they might not like it, even if it is just a filler game. But,
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of character.
Yeah.
So I gave it an 8 for the it factor. Overall rating?
What's your overall Chippy?
I think my overall Chippy rating on this game is 7.5. So it's a solid game for what it is and what you're doing with it. I wouldn't say, like I said before, I wouldn't play it multiple times in a row because it's very, very repetitive. There's nothing really changing in this game, and also if you have someone that's really good at flicking, they will probably win. Unless their finger starts hurting halfway through. But I think it's definitely one that if you're more skilled at flicking the penguins, you're going to have a way better chance of winning. And whether that really matters or not is another thing.
You're flicking a penguin, Good job.
But so that puts me at a 7.5.
I probably have the lowest of us three, I'm guessing, but I put it into the little calculator, right? And it came out at a 5.8.
Oh.
So, like that doesn't mean it's a bad game. I think it's mainly just because I don't have a lot of
Someone's
plays.
getting coal.
But I think I've listed out like my discrepancies or issues with the game. That said, I do think it is a good game, and I'm never opposed to playing it, and I say that with an asterisk because I'm not going to play it 2 or 3 times in a row.
Mhm.
So.
Do you think that rating would ever move up, or do you think it would only move down?
I think it depends, like, if we were to get, like, an expansion or 2.0 version, maybe some replayability, but even then I think it likely is either going to stay or go down if there's something else that comes to compete against it, because, it's good, but it's not like, it's just not there for me. So.
Yeah, understandable. I have an overall rating of 7.9.
Oh my goodness!
I love this game. I love me some penguins.
Super
I
cute.
do like penguins.
I do too.
Yeah, just pretty much everything we've said so far. It's just got that character.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that keeps it down? What's the main thing keeping it down? Not a little higher.
Probably kind of just only really wanting to play it in the holidays. Not really.
Right. Looking at your shelf and not,
Yeah.
usually not like going, oh yeah, let's play some ICECOOL.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I think for us, like, it's mainly Zach and I here, so it's like we're not going to play this 2-player most of the time.
Right.
And if we do have people over, it's like we're going to spend our time playing something else.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. But like I said, I think it's a great one to take out during the holidays with family members that may not typically be into gaming, because it's quick. I think you can take it out, set it up, play it really quickly, and then put it away, and then play the meatier game of the night with whoever wants to kind of play that kind of game instead.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that gives our final thoughts on ICECOOL.
a
And
flicking awesome game.
definitely is. If you have any comments or want to know anything more about ICECOOL, check out our other videos linked below.
Mm-hmm. Watch me hurt my finger in the playthrough.
He's gonna need a cast. Thank you for watching, and like Santa on his cookies, keep on nibbling. Ho!
Oh, sorry.
I thought I was
I
starting.
don't know who it was going. Are we doing?
Ho!
Wait, what's happening?
You're supposed to say it after.
Oh, I didn't
Ho,
know
ho,
that. You
ho.
guys are terrible with communication. Cookie, get out of the bathroom. Yeah, go lay down.